I'm building one of science fiction's deadliest weapons, the Fifth Element's ZF-1. It's a multi-artillery sextuple threat that launches arrows, nets, fire, ice, something called replay bullets, and of course, rockets. We're starting our baseline testing with this standard unmodified hobby rocket we assembled from a kit.
Yeah. Let's shoot it.
Ultimately, I'm looking for our rocket to satisfy 3 key parameters. 1, it's gotta fly straight. 2, it needs to stick in what we aim it at. And 3, it's got to explode. This first test is just to observe the unmodified rocket's flight path.
Okay, here we go. Rocket test in 3, 2, 1. That was awesome!
Yes!
Fabulous.
We aimed our rocket a little high, anticipating that gravity would arc it down toward the center of the target. But it turned out to have flown almost a completely straight line.
That's great. This was where it was aimed.
Wow.
So a very, very little drop across
Very
the
little drop.
16
and
feet.
Just to the right.
That's fantastic.
So our aim was dead on. Now to tackle parameter number 2, penetrating the target.
This is the tip of the cone. Clearly, I'm gonna need to add a piece of metal, like a needle out there, so it stays in its target.
And after some quick down and dirty modifications, voila!
I think it's time to test fire this.
One of our biggest challenges here is fitting all of our weapons into one compact package, like the original ZF-1. Since the 24-inch launch rail I used in the first test doesn't exactly scream compact, I'm swapping it out for this metal tube.
Yeah! You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Rocket test number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Whoa! That was cool!
And it stuck.
It did stick. Ooh. Yeah. It didn't head straight for the target. It kind of went, doink.
It was the mass in the nose cone,
Oh, too much mass.
because it just immediately dropped. So I think it was the pin that you put in the front.
Hoping to redistribute some of the weight to the rear end of the rocket, I'm going to add this aluminum tube to the body. I'm making several modifications to the rocket for this next test. Normally, I would make 1 modification per test and just creep along, iterating as I go. But I'm impatient and I have a whole bunch of ideas. So I started out by lightening up my aluminum tube that holds the rocket with a bunch of lightning holes. I followed that by using a bigger motor, a B motor. Hopefully, the greater thrust will get the rocket to its target before gravity has a chance to pull it down.
You stick there. That's your home. Don't you want to go home? In 3, 2, 1. Let's reset and do that one more time. 3, 2, 1.
Now we're firing literally all over the place. Clearly, our rocket is still not quite balanced.
See, it's still wanting to
Still
go down. So we
static.
probably need a little clay.
Becky's idea is to add some clay to the nose to balance the rocket.
What do you think?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a much heavier thing, but here's hoping that it actually stays more balanced in flight. Go. We are armed. We are on. And 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Woo! Woo! Let's do that one more time, and then we know we've got something. Something beyond blind chance. In 3, 2, 1. We hit the target again.
2 of our goals accomplished. We got the rocket to travel straight and to penetrate and stay in its target. Now, it's time to get it to explode by adding in a secret ingredient that for legal purposes, I'm going to have to leave to your imagination.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Woo! I am so happy.
Sight. We had to do so much problem solving for its center of gravity and its internal construction, but we now have a model that has worked 3 times reliably. I am very grateful. The other thing that surprised me, though, is that I didn't think we were making an actual weapon, but it pierced this piece of 1/4-inch plywood like 1.5 inches. It's coming out the back. That would really harm you, and you'd be like, ow, a rocket hit me. Boom! Yeah. So this thing's getting dangerous, and that's really cool.
Rocket launcher?
Now it's time to move on to weapon number 2, the ZF-1's arrow launcher. 2 blocks that shoot out of the side of the ZF-1 with 5 arrows in each, and they fire all 10, 2 at a time. Here's how I think the effect worked in the film. You see the face, and you see the arrows land in it. Shoot, 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 shoot. I think that the arrow shooting rig that they built for the film was right here, right out of frame. You don't have to have the arrows travel long distances in the film because the camera will never see that. Our challenge is to do it for real. The first order of business, a simple proof of concept with some key components. Some makeshift arrows, a launch tube or gun barrel, so to speak, and some compressed air for propulsion.
That was so much fun, I'm gonna do it again.
My barrel works pretty darn good. I'm very satisfied with its operation.
Damn!
But in order to activate it, I can't just use this air valve because I've got 10 arrows that are firing, 2 at a time, which effectively means I'm gonna have to figure out a way to stack and activate 10 separate barrels. And that's not even the trickiest part. This arrow launcher is just one of 6 weapons which will need to fit inside my finished ZF-1. So I also need to make it as compact as possible.
There we go.
This is our completed arrow shooting rig. The pressure starts at this tank. It moves into this paintball regulator here. It comes down and gets split using this manifold into 5 separate solenoid valves, each operated by 12 volts. They will fire in sequence, pow, 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 pow. At each stage, one will close and the next one will open, allowing the pressure to shift to the next pair of arrows. And if all goes well, one touch to the battery fires 10 arrows in just under a second.
Take 5 and put them in one side. I'll take 5 and put them in the other.
Ooh. The arrow rig is unique on this build because while it's mechanically simple, it's logistically complex. There's a lot of opportunities for it to leak. There's a lot of places things could go wrong. We are working with a timer board that will time all 5 of these, but we're not sure even if our pressure tank can maintain the pressure to fire 5 arrows as tightly as we want to cluster them. And then there's aiming. I have no idea how these arrows will fly. So there's potentially a lot of problems to solve with this one. All right, the theoretical becomes the actual. Here we go. This is a 10-arrow shooter test, firing in 3, 2, 1.
Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 arrows in here, all arrows. Dude, look at that!
That's beautiful.
That was really beautiful.
I'm so excited.
I'm a little misty.
so happy.
Stuff never works on the first try. When you build a rig as complicated as 10 barrels, 10 short arrows with no flights, 5 solenoids, 2 timer boards, something's gonna go wrong, and yet we got a damn good first test. Okay, my clustering is terrible. In the film, all 10 arrows land in the face of the dummy. This is a giant face. So maybe on the next test, I'll play around with the barrel orientation so I can learn more about how to aim this thing.